How do you make your videos stand out? How do you get more views on your videos? How do you grow your YouTube channel? So there's two answers to those questions, and we're gonna go over one of those today. The first one is create an amazing keyword-rich, great title. The second one is to create a great-looking, eye-catching thumbnail. So in today's video, we are going over how to put together a great-looking thumbnail, and I'm gonna show you some apps that you can use to make that happen and go over some best practices and things that you can do to make your thumbnails stand out. The first thing that I want you to understand is your thumbnail is the doorway. It is the gateway to your video. It is the thing that stops people from watching your video, or it is the thing that gets people to watch your video. So if you don't get the viewer's attention, they're not gonna watch your video. Jeremy Vest said it best, you have to win the click. And that is an awesome way to say it, because when you have a sea of thumbnails showing up when somebody searches for something, you have to win that click. You need to be the thumbnail that they tap or they click on. And if you're not, you lose the click, which means they're not watching your video, which means you're not growing. So let's talk about what makes a great looking thumbnail and things that you need to keep in mind when you're building your thumbnail. But before I do that, I do want to say to make sure your channel is verified so YouTube will allow you to upload custom thumbnails. I'm going to put a link in the description below so you can figure out how to do that if you haven't done it already. Now, if you look at any of the top thumbnails for just about any search term, you're going to find some common things. They're usually going to be intriguing, or they're going to be some sort of an action shot that's going to make you want to click on that thumbnail, or it's going to be super colorful, super eye-catching. The fonts are usually going to be really bold and easy to read, or there's going to be no font at all, but it's going to have a good looking image, it's going to be relevant to the video, and it's going to have a great title. So focusing on the thumbnail side, you want to make sure the image is as large as possible. So make your thumbnail the size of 1920 by 1080 or a 16:9 ratio, because what happens is when you upload it to YouTube, YouTube will compress it and shrink it down. So the larger that is, the better it's going to look when it's compressed. You also want to make sure that your thumbnails are optimized for mobile devices. And if you're a mobile creator, well, you've already got a phone, so you can easily test this on your phone. You want to make sure that your fonts are bold and easy to read if you're putting text on there to begin with. You want to make sure that any facial expressions or anything that you're putting in the thumbnail makes sense when you view it at its smallest form on a phone. One thing that you can do is after you have your thumbnail made, you can upload it to YouTube, set it to private, not public, make sure it's set to private, and then go in and look at it on your phone and see if the timestamp is going to cover up anything, see if it's going to cover up any text, see if your text is easy to read, is it bold enough, are the images on the thumbnail easy to read, can you make out what's going on? And if you're unsure, hand it to a friend or a family member and ask them, hey, can you see what's going on in this thumbnail? Tell me what you think is happening in this thumbnail. I spend a lot of time on YouTube looking at thumbnails, seeing what people are doing in the thumbnails, trying to get ideas, trying to figure out why this is getting clicked and why this one is not. And one of the main things that I see that's problematic is people are putting fonts, their text on the thumbnail that you can't read once it's shrunk down and I'm looking at it on my phone. So keep that in mind. Use bold, easy to read fonts. Looking at thumbnails on a desktop or a tablet is a completely different experience than looking at it on your phone. So keep that in mind when you're choosing your fonts and your text. Keep it bold, keep it easy to read, so when it shrinks down, you don't have a problem with somebody trying to figure out what's being said on your thumbnail. And as I always say, be mindful of the timestamp. It's going to be in the bottom right-hand corner, and that moves around based on if it's on your desktop or if it's a tablet or if it's on a phone. So when you check it on your phone, check the timestamp to make sure it's not covering up any of your text. Now let me show you two different thumbnails. The first thumbnail that you're looking at, it looks okay, but the font is skinny and it looks all right on a desktop, it looks okay on a tablet, but when you shrink it down, it's gonna lose a lot of detail and you're not gonna easily be able to read what it says when it's on your phone. Now compare that with this second thumbnail. They're big, bold, easy to read fonts, and you know what's going on immediately. When you shrink them down and compare them side by side, the one with the bold text easily stands out. It stands out a lot more than the one with the skinny, small fonts. It also helps if you don't put too many words on your thumbnail. Cluttering your image up with words, it's never gonna work. It's too much to look at. Let me show you this example. You can use a lot of text on your thumbnail. It's just too cluttered, too much to look at. But if you simplify it, just add a few words, add value to the image that you already have, add some focus words, and draw the user's eye exactly where you want it to go. Show them exactly what you want them to look at. Show them what's inside the video. Don't make them waste any time trying to figure out what's being said on your thumbnail or what's inside your video. The next thing you want to do is you want to make it pop. You want it to be colorful. You want it to be eye-catching. You want somebody to notice it as they're scrolling through their thumb, they're laying in bed, they're scrolling, and boom, there's your thumbnail. It gets their attention. Color is a wonderful way to do this. And I'm going to put a link that I made to a video right there where I walk you through how to use a color wheel to choose the right colors for your images and your thumbnails. You can also use faces in your thumbnail. Data has proven that faces get more clicks than thumbnails. Without faces, of course, it's not necessary, but they do get more clicks. But if you are using a face, think about a face that shows emotion. Think about a face that shows excitement. They call it a YouTube face, right? YouTube faces, those get clicks. Now, that might not work for your niche. It might not work for what you're doing, but if it does work, try it, test it out, and see how it works for you. Now, when I add my own face to my own thumbnails, I'll go in and I'll whiten my eyes. I'll actually make my eyes a little bit larger. I'll exaggerate things a little bit because I just want my face to pop out just a little bit more. I also add a little bit of color, and I do that by adding saturation. You can use Snapseed for that, or any photo editing app. You can add saturation, you can add ambiance to make it stand out, to make it pop a little bit more. You can also do things like cut yourself out, put a stroke around you, or put a drop shadow behind you, and that's going to make you stand off the background and give it a little bit of a 3D effect, which is going to be more eye-catching. Now, I don't know what kind of content you're making, so a face might not work for you, but if you're using something where you can use an action shot, use an action shot. Anything that looks like a really cool shot, you can scrub through your video feed and you can find the right image, take a screenshot of that, open that up in a photo editor, and use that as your thumbnail. Keep in mind, you want people to be intrigued. You want them to think, wow. You want people to think, what is going on there? Or you can get their attention with the expression on your face or the colors that you use, but the goal is get the user's attention. If you do not get their attention, you will not win the click. That's something you have to understand. Attention equals click. So whatever you have to do, don't clickbait them, but keep it relevant to your video, but win the click. Now, part of winning the click is also being consistent. You want to have a consistent look across your channel's thumbnails. You want to have some sort of identifying mark or some sort of a look or some sort of a vibe where people can identify the thumbnails as yours. So once they get to know you and they get to know your stamp or your look or your font choice or whatever it is, however you make your thumbnails, they can easily identify your thumbnail when it's suggested to them in a sea of other thumbnails. They can say, oh, that's so-and-so's thumbnails. I remember that guy. I'm subscribed to that guy. I like his content. I'm going to click on that. So a few ways you can do this is by creating a vibe or a look. For example, one of the things that I do, I use the same font on every single thumbnail, and I tilt it the same way, and I put it on top of a wooden background, and that's kind of my look. Now, I'm always testing thumbnails. If you go to my channel right now and you don't see something like that, it's because I'm A/B testing my thumbnails, and I do that using TubeBuddy. Link in the description below for that. So if you want to learn how to A/B test your thumbnails, which everyone should do that, go check that out. And if you don't know what A/B testing is, A/B testing allows you to load up 2 thumbnails, and over the course of time, it will tell you which one gets more views, which one brings you more watch time, or which one brings you more subscribers, so you can choose the best thumbnail based on whatever goals you have for your channel. Okay, back to the branding of the thumbnails. One of the things that people like to do is they'll put a logo or something in the bottom left-hand corner or the top left-hand corner, or even the top right corner, not on the bottom right, because that's where the timestamp goes. And that applies for any branding element that you want to put in your thumbnail. That could be your logo. That could be a color selection. That could be a font choice. It could be a certain type of image. It could be a border. There's lots of different ways to do this. So look around, see what other people are doing, find some inspiration, and then come up with your own ideas to make your thumbnails uniquely yours. Now let's talk about some apps that you can use to make this happen. First and foremost, you've got Snapseed. Snapseed is totally free. It's by Google, and it is a fantastic and super powerful app. I'm going to put a link to a video that I made right there. If you're just getting started and you're overwhelmed by all of this, that's the video that you should watch to get started. Or if you just want to make simple thumbnails, that's a video to watch. Second on the list would be PicsArt. This is an amazing app. It's kind of like a Photoshop for your phone. And I'm going to put a link to a video that I made right there that walks you through making a more professional looking thumbnail. You can do transparent images and you can build it up in layers. Really, really amazing. They have a free version and they have a paid version. You do not have to upgrade. So when the page loads up and it says you need to upgrade, just look for the little X somewhere on the screen, tap on that, and it's going to continue to give you the free version. If you're an Android user and for some reason you don't like Snapseed or PicsArt, art, you can check out an app called Pixel Lab. It's another free app, and I'm going to put a link in the description below to a video that my brother Nick made showing you how to make a really good looking thumbnail that kind of look like his using this free app. Amazing app. Check it out if you don't like the other two. You can also use your favorite video editing app. You could use something like KineMaster. You could take a screen grab of the video, drop some text on it, and export it out. You could then open it up inside of Snapseed or inside of PixArt or Pixel Lab, make it come to life, make it pop, add more elements on top of it to get a really good looking thumbnail built off of your video using a screen grab. And of course, you could also use one of the Photoshop apps or Canva, which allows you to start off of a template-based thumbnail or channel art. And by the way, if you're looking to do your channel art, I'm going to put a link to a video that I made right there where I use Canva and walk you through the process of creating your channel art. If you want to learn how to make content on your phone or be a mobile YouTuber, be sure to hit that subscribe button followed by the notification bell so you don't miss out on future content. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video.